what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 41 here on season 2. And today we are getting into how much do I have in gold and silver, or how much have I invested into gold and silver? This question comes from Jay Lewis, and he asked, how much gold and silver are you invested in? They seem to go opposite of stocks. Yes, they sometimes do. Real quickly, these videos are not meant to be taken as financial advice. They are for educational purposes only. You're responsible for your own assets and to protect those. So make sure you always do your own research. So on Robinhood, I have about $170 invested into gold type ETFs or gold mining companies. The two gold mining companies are going to be TRX and BTG. The one ETF that's like a gold mining company ETF is going to be RING or Ring. And then the other two ETFs are going to track either gold or silver. And one is IAU and the other one is SLV. And I have pretty much those split across 20% into each of those. So that $170 is about 20% into TRX, into RING, BTG, IAU, and then SLV. And those will stay there for a while, and I'm going to ride those out for quite a long time. As far as what I hold in physical gold and silver, I hold about $350 in silver. Those mostly are going to be 1 ounce bars. And then also I own another $300 in gold. So in total, I own about $770, and maybe $800, close to $800 in all of my gold and silver assets. In total, this probably makes up about 1/4 of my entire account. And this would make sense because I put a certain amount of money into Acorns, I put a certain amount of money into Stash, then I put a certain amount of money into Robinhood, and then I also allocate a certain amount of money into gold and silver. That would make sense that my portfolio is like quarter into gold and silver. So it is a good thing that I'm quarter. I just don't like the fact that I'm so heavily invested into gold and silver right now, and I'll get into that later on in regards to compounding interest. So in one of the other videos which I address gold and silver, I talk about how it correlates to the actual stock market. The only precious metal that is negatively correlated to the stock market is going to be gold. And gold's only correlated about 0.14, which is not really a strong relationship, a strong negative relationship. So typically what we see is when the stock market goes up, gold starts dropping at maybe a 0.14 or 0.14. So basically 14% of the time it's negatively correlated is what it's getting at with the correlation right there. Typically to have something significant, we're looking for something over like 0.7 would be nice, which would be about 70% of the time we see that happen, this happens, or if this happens, that happens, or if this happens over here, it makes this and that happen. So that's what we're looking for in regards to statistics. A 0.14 is just not that high at all. It's actually closer to 0 than it is to 1. I'll leave it at that with how it actually mimics the market. It's really not very predictive, but it can sometimes move in the opposite direction, and that happens about 14% of the time. I think gold and silver is a safe investment. The only thing that I don't like about gold and silver, and this is why I'm looking at maybe selling off some gold and silver stocks. I'm still going to hold the physical gold and silver. That's just what I'm going to do. But the reason why I'm looking at maybe selling off some of my gold and silver stock is because it doesn't pay dividends. And so it's extremely hard to compound that gold and silver. The only other way that you could do that is by buying low, selling high, and then buying on the dip again, and then selling high again. So you would have to compound like that, where with like big company stocks or ETFs that pay dividends, it's a lot easier because you can reinvest those dividends, thus creating a compound interest cycle. Also, with my physical gold and silver, right now I'm only looking at buying gold. This is because I like the look of gold more than silver, and also it does negative correlate a little bit to the stock market. My wife likes gold and silver, or gold, a lot more, and also gold is a lot smaller and a lot more expensive, so it does take up a lot less room than buying like ounces of silver versus buying like 1/10 of ounces of gold. That's what I like most about gold, and it really kind of looks a lot better than silver, I believe. Anyways, we'll leave it right there. Let's go ahead and dive into the question of the day, which is, what's a body part that you wouldn't mind losing? For me, it would be my pinky toe. I just say it would be better if it was just off. You know how many times I'd be walking around and I'd be like, boom, and I'd be like, ah, oh my gosh, why did like where'd that pinky toe come from? Like, you're supposed to be tucked away. And it was like, no, it wasn't tucked away. So I wish maybe that would be amputated. Then I won't have to worry about like stubbing my pinky toe on something. I mean, I'm sure that it's probably broken like 6 or 7 times. Go ahead and leave it right there. If you have a question regarding Stash, Acorns, Robinhood, as well as general investing advice, business, Etsy coaching, post those questions down below. Don't forget to subscribe up here and check out Stash Recap January edition. Check out the video right here. And as always, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it.